Been having some funny issues with my stream when I've been trying to stream Fire Emblem, so...
Oh no, you became a robot.
Oh no, I became a robot. Is it any better?
It's kind of better. Kind of. Never mind.
One sec. Is it better? It better be better.
Yes, it's better.
Okay. I was just changing a few...
Good news, it is indeed better.
Yeah, it's because I just fired up the stream. I'm sure it was trying to do some ridiculous stuff, honestly. I don't know what, but... Alright. So yeah, I've pulled up the Zendikar Expeditions sheet. Anyway, yeah, viewers. We're streaming. We're talking, Zendikar Expeditions are custom set for AOTP. I have DistractionDance here. We call him D-Dance for short. He's part of our group. He loves AOTP. He does some playtests with us. So D-Dance, you can say hi. Uh-oh, am I coming through like a robot?
Hello.
Oh, there you go.
A little bit, yes, but I can understand mostly.
Oh no! I hope it's not my internet. But if it only just started...
I can tell you it's not...
Go ahead.
I already know why. Because... Well, with the headphones that I'm using currently, apparently my phone really just doesn't like Bluetooth.
Oh, what kind of phone you have?
Especially when on calls.
What kind of phone is it? Android, Apple, something else? Microsoft?
I think it's like a Motorola or something.
Okay. Yeah, I have a Motorola, so that's probably an Android system then. Those tend to be Android operating systems.
Yeah, it just is not very happy when I'm on a call.
That's weird. Huh. My Motorola is, yeah, I forget how old, 3 or 4 years old. I think it's 4 years old. It's pretty reliable. I don't use Bluetooth very often though, so I couldn't speak to why that's breaking for you. But so Zendikar Expeditions, anyway. Let's see, how much have you been paying attention to, like, the playtests that Don and I have been doing? Oh, did I lose you? Did you hear any of that? Did he keel over from his Bluetooth radiation exposure? Is my stream still alive? The stream is alive. D-Dance is a goner. I just heard my Discord. Discord crashed. D-Dance shall be right back. Alright, so playtesting. I can continue the show for a moment. We have been... Oh yeah, here's our notes from the last, what, couple weeks here? Whoa. We gotta calm down here. We've been playtesting the colorless things, especially the Eldrazi. Yeah, we haven't playtested most of the spells. We've playtested a couple of the white spells and the colorless spells to go along with the Mind Rakers. We got the salvage drone here. Oh yeah, and here it is. Concerns that the tokens aren't useful enough yet. He's actually, man, Don's on top. He's on the ball here. He's really good at making these notes because I often forget, or I put it in the Discord as like a very shorthand, like, hey, this, and then I forget. Oh.
Yay!
Oh, hey, you're back.
Yeah, turns out, yeah, just overall my phone and a Discord crashed.
Goodness, dude. How old is your phone?
I was not joking when I said my phone really doesn't... What?
How old is it? Do you know?
How old is it? Not even a year.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe about a quarter of a year.
Man. You need the phone that us old timers are using from 5 years ago, sounds like.
I swear, it only crashes when I'm on a call. Every other time, it's good.
Huh.
It just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And like I said, I assume it's because of my headphones.
Are they? Yeah. Why would it be because of the headphones?
I had my old headphones that I used.
Why would it be because of the headphones?
What? I assume because, like, the phone's trying to keep up, like, the Bluetooth connection.
Huh. You wouldn't think that would be something very hard to do.
Like, the headphone... yeah, but the thing is, like, the headphones that I used during the summer, yeah, when we played during the summer, yeah, those broke on my way back up north.
Oh, no.
So, I still have yet to get new ones.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm using Bluetooth ones right now.
Okay, gotcha. Well, alright,
It'll probably be a bit before I get better headphones.
Right, okay. I think, and just by the way, something for you to note too, I'm guessing we must have quite a bit of delay between us. I don't know why, but it sounds like, or at least it feels to me, like based on our conversation, like on my end, that there must be like a couple seconds of delay between like when I speak and when you receive my voice on your end. So just, I guess, take note of that like, it seems like there's a couple seconds of delay here between us, alright?
Okay, good to know.
Alright. But anyway, before you crashed, or I guess while you crashed and while I was waiting for you, I was briefly just talking about what Don and I were playtesting. Like, so we've been playtesting the Eldrazi stuff, Blight Herder. What's next? It's the Salvage Drone. That's like our cheap 10-point hero. The Mindrakers, which are our beefier Eldrazi squad with the exile effect. And then we've been playing around with the colorless spells. I think like 3 or 4 of them in general, trying to get a feel for how good they are. And D-Dance, you saw a couple of them, right? The colorless spells?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen a few of them.
Okay. What do you think of them so far?
I've really only read some of them, but starting off, I really like the flavor of All Is Dust, and I just chuckle whenever I read whatever Don said when I said, yeah, when I said I love All Is Dust, and then Don responded with, does it remind you of home? I just chuckle whenever I read that. So, solid 10 out of 10 for All Is Dust. And then
10 out of 10 burn too, yeah.
I'm trying to find the other ones.
Do you have the Zendikar Expeditions sheet? You have access to it, right? Luke, Arcanus gave it to you.
The document?
Yeah. It's Google. Is it Google Docs, Google Sheets, whatever it is? Yeah, it's in Google Drive somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's Google Docs. Let me check. I might.
If you want to fire that open, because you should be able to read all the notes that Don has made. Don has made a few notes of like the playtest that he and I have. I usually add the notes into the Discord.
Yeah, I do have it. I just opened it.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, scroll down quite a ways. It looks like, I don't know if this is like the number of pages. It says 18 of 26. If you go down to, again, if you see this, but on the right side it says it's apparently page 20 of 26. That's where the colorless spells are.
Am I back?
Oh, yeah, you're here.
Okay, Discord crashed again. Good news, I do have the document.
How do we fix that? Have you restarted your phone lately, by any chance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Huh. Well, you skipped, anyway, you dropped out. I was just suggesting, can you scroll down to, like, it looks like it's page 20 of 26? Basically find the colorless spells. I don't know if you want to read through them.
Yeah.
You'll see notes from Don on the side as well, if you want to read his things. But I don't know if you want to just tell me what you think of the costs and the effects of mostly the colorless spells, because that's what we're really working on short term.
I do like all of the spells. I gotta admit, I do like all of them.
Oh, yeah,
all of them sound fun.
The colorless ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spatial contortion sounds like it could be pretty useful.
Yeah. Spatial contortion is probably the most, like, it's honestly pretty generic as far as, like, it doesn't, like, yeah, it's just one creature gets +1 power, -1 toughness. Yeah, which can, I think this is going to be useful by, like, every color, frankly. This can go on, like, any deck, which is fine.
Yeah. Because one thing I could definitely see it being used for is targeting an opponent's creature with it.
Yep.
And then you attack that creature, and because it gets -1 toughness, that decreases the chances of it getting a complete block if a complete block was possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the point of the card, that you can either, basically the card boils down to give yourself +1 power or give an opponent -1 toughness. But it also has a weird synergy with like the fight. Or maybe I won't call it a synergy, but Gruesome Slaughter says like it causes a fight, which means like if you give your own creature +1 power, -1 toughness, that is like something that will come into play.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this dust has been like Don and I like it, and just like you do, like you think it's an awesome card. Like we like it. This is a good card, but we originally had it at 40 points, and you can already see here the doc says it's 35 points now, because 40 was too expensive, and I kind of wonder if 35 is too expensive.
I'd say if 35 is too expensive, I'd probably settle with 30.
Yeah, we basically have to. Only because I don't want it like beating out like Red's spells, especially because like Red has the one that does, what is it, the Incinerate? It deals 3 damage to a creature next to your Planeswalker. So it's like all this dust is just much easier to use. It allows you to split the damage too, along with like, as long as you have like any Eldrazi's, like it's all it takes is an Eldrazi. Like it doesn't have to be next to your Planeswalker, so that's usually a little bit easier to pull off. Yeah, I think for the flexibility, all this dust is, yeah, it kind of has to remain at least 30. I don't think we should make it cheaper, frankly.
I agree.
Excellent. Grave birthing. You know what? So I'd like to chat with you about this. I feel like you might be the one that would have the biggest problem with this over anybody, but maybe I'm wrong. So grave birthing, the call of the spell at the top. So Don has expressed some interest in making this exile a figure from an opponent's graveyard. So instead of choosing a card from an opponent's graveyard and exiling it, it would be choose a figure. And he cited mostly that he wanted to have something that would like get rid of one of the restless zombies permanently. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, screw you, Don.
He doesn't like the zombies.
I want my restless zombies. But I can definitely see where he comes from with that, though. And I could definitely see the flavor as to like why he says have it be a creature as well, because that's something that I think it's the Eldrazi Titans have done. Is, oh, you're an Eldrazi now.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, we have that. You saw that. Where is that card? Eldrazi Conscription? That's basically what that is supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the turn of an Eldrazi creature, you basically just point at one squad. You know, a squad with one guy remaining, and then it in a way, you know, we don't have it say that it turns into an Eldrazi, but you gain control of it. Like it joins the Eldrazi side effectively. But yeah, I agreed with Don to an extent about grave birthing, that like I think we do need creature like figure exile. I don't know if I was less inclined to put it in this set, because I think like Luke and I had originally talked and we were like, we'll do spell exile first and maybe creature exile in the future, or I think we were gonna avoid creature exile altogether. I'm a little concerned about like just black not being very good at all. Like once you nerf the restless zombies, I don't feel like black has a lot going for it after that.
Yeah.
It also begs. Go ahead.
Definitely a concern, and that's definitely a concern that I have with grave birthing. Is, what'll happen then Like, how will Restless Zombies' ability even work then?
Yes, that's a question. So I think Don and I briefly talked about it, and we were both okay with saying, you know, if two of them were in the graveyard and the third one was exiled, that you could still roll for them to what was it? Rise. What is it? Right? It's not Darkness Arises. That's it. But anyway, you could still roll for them while there's two in the graveyard and one was exiled. But yeah, then it kind of becomes a rules issue because if I remember this correctly, hang on. Do I have my army builder? I believe the Restless Zombies card says that all of them have to be in the graveyard, and technically all of them aren't in the graveyard if one of them is exiled. So, yeah, I'm not sure how we can work our way around that.
So yeah, then at that point, Grave Birthing just entirely shuts down pretty much the biggest thing that's carrying black. Which, at that point, black is either as good or maybe even worse than white at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I might be overestimating the Restless Zombies when I say that, but I really don't think I am.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like, I do feel like the Restless Zombies, yeah, like if they can't do their rebirth or their Darkness Arises, like 60 points for them with 1 life, 1 toughness, yeah, that's what it turns into, right? Is like I don't particularly mind, like, as someone who I generally like to play Ob Nixilis and Restless Zombies in AOTP, like it's probably my favorite army. I don't generally mind if it just exiles 1 zombie. Like, I think that's a perfectly fine nerf for them if they can still roll for Darkness Arises while 1 is exiled. But yeah, that still turns into, I have the card text in front of me. It says, if all Restless Zombies are in your figure graveyard. So it's like, how do we word exile? You know, it's like, do we have to tweak exile then so that it doesn't mess with Darkness Arises? I don't know. That's the fun part. But yeah, just like you, it's like, I don't want them. I don't want it where, like, if you exile 1 zombie, you can't revive any of them, because then that just makes the Restless Zombies like absolute trash tier as soon as your opponent plays Grave Birthing. But go ahead, you were about to say.
And especially with Grave Birthing being as cheap as it is, there'd be no reason to not run it, especially in like a tournament, because that just entirely shuts down a whole color that you can fight against.
Yeah.
Like for 10 or 15, I hope that 10 or 15. I hope it's 10 or 15. Like for 10 or 15, there's no point to not run it.
Yeah. Well,
and that does entirely terrify me, because that shuts down the main army that I really like playing.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the thing. I did talk to Don about potentially raising the price of it, but that goes 2 ways though. Like, currently, Exile really only is decent against the Restless Zombies, and I guess to a lesser extent the Flamewing Phoenixes. So you gotta think about it that, like, Grave Birthing for any other color, like if you're going against green, it's like exiling one of their creatures doesn't really do anything. So, like, there's a massive so it's like, yeah, Grave Birthing needs to be more expensive when the Restless Zombies are involved, but then if it's more expensive, like if it costs 20 or 25 points, no one's going to use it because it's too niche. Like, it would literally do nothing against any other color. And, like, even I wouldn't be, like, itching to use it against Red's Phoenixes, because those are also typically easy to kill, and they don't keep coming back all game like black can, like the zombies can. So, yeah, this is a very unique situation where it's like, and that's kind of why I told Don, it's like, I would rather explore exiling figures in another set. To be like, maybe we can have more regenerating creatures where, like, maybe more than one color has almost endlessly regenerating creatures, so that there's more of a reason to be like, okay, now we make Grave Birthing something that costs 25 points, or we keep Grave Birthing the way it is right here, like, as in it exiles a spell, but then we can make other exile effects that wouldn't be too, like, dominant, but there would be like 1 or 2 of them, like maybe white and or red, so that way there's a way to deal with the constant respawn.
and I could definitely see something like I can see why you'd want to introduce Figure Exile later, because yeah, well, like you said, it's only really useful against black right now, and with that in mind, that also puts another idea for another creature in my head, like it could be like in another Innistrad set whenever another one of those are made, because Innistrad is messed up in terms of its undead.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like you could, for example, a mechanic that's already in the card game for Magic, Disturb. When the card is in your graveyard, you can pay its Disturb cost, flip it over, and play it. I'm pretty sure that's in, like, Crimson Vow or Midnight Hunt or something.
I've never heard of that one. That's
yeah, there's a mechanic like that. But, yeah, maybe in, like, a later, like, Innistrad or another random set like that has, like, undead. Or maybe even you might be able to make an excuse for War of the Spark to include something like that in it. So then grave birthing is actually more useful outside of, oh, this singular matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so yeah, grave birthing's current use, yeah, there's two primary things, right? It clearly helps with all the Eldrazi things, like you generally want to use it with the, what is it, the Blight Herder, because you can't move Eldrazi creature tokens with anything except for the Blight Herder. So I would say primarily you use it like when you're using the Blight Herder in your army. But yeah, definitely, I'd say like it might have a secondary effect, or I should say the secondary effect for an Eldrazi army is that you can kill the rest of the zombies, like remove one and potentially prevent them from respawning at all. Maybe we could talk to Luke about it and like see what he thinks about like how do we twist the rules to make it so that only 2 zombies could still continue to rise, because I think that would be a perfectly fine balancing effect on them. But yeah, the other half, of course, is that like yeah, any army that isn't using the Blight Herder, if they're using Grave Birthing, it's almost specifically to help deal with the zombies, and it's like, yeah, it really boils down to how do we rule that if one zombie is exiled that none of them can rise ever again? I don't know. That's really the key point.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it is currently, I think I told Don this too. I told him like I don't mind eventually exploring Figure Exile, just not in this set. I don't think, and again, I don't think Luke wanted to either. So I tend to think that Grave Bursting's probably going to stay the way it is right now. But anyway, that's an interesting card. That really is. At probably about 10 or 15 points, I think it's perfectly fine as it is right now, honestly.
I'd agree, especially, yeah, if it does get changed to be able to exile creatures, then yeah, probably raise its cost a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have no clue why, probably because a whole bunch of colorless spells that do stuff with Eldrazi, but, like, the gears are spinning in my head for making one of the 3 Eldrazi Titans as a Planeswalker.
That we wanted, I forget, have you and I talked about, or have you seen our chats on Discord about us like trying to add the Titans into this set?
Yeah, as like heroes, I assume.
We probably were gonna do heroes, but yeah, I think the biggest problem with that was really like trying to find an appropriate like figure for them that would look like them. That was really the biggest hurdle, I think.
Yeah. But like, yeah, the gears are spinning in my head specifically for like Ulamog.
Oh, it would be so cool.
Because like, yeah, like I can already think of like one of his effects right now. Like if he attacks an opposing Planeswalker, exile like 2 or 3 cards from that player's graveyard.
Oh. Okay. Well, the Mindbreakers kind of
because
do that
is
already.
Actually one of his. Because that is actually one of his cards. I think it's Ulamog's Voice of Hunger, or something like that, where whenever he attacks, I think it's exile the top 20 cards of your opponent's deck.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Okay.
One problem that I'm already thinking of for at least the Titans is I'm pretty sure all of them have some sort of indestructible.
Oh yeah, we would be ignoring that. We're generally going to be avoiding indestructible, or if we do have it, it's going to have like some pretty heavy conditions. I want to say I talked to, maybe it was Luke about it, but like we talked about like maybe giving like white creatures indestructible, but like the conditions would be like you'd have to have, I don't know, like some number of spells in your hand, and or like your planeswalker would still have to be alive. Like there's gonna have to be ways so that like if you make something indestructible, there's got to be a relatively easy way for most other armies to like look at some other avenue, like find another avenue to be like, all right, I'll kill you this way instead, and then kill the indestructible guy once the condition is met, you know?
Am I back?
Oh yeah, you're back. You crashed? Did you crash?
Oh wow. Perhaps.
Okay. What was the last? Well, never mind. Anyway, I'm not sure what you heard. I'll just repeat what I said generally. That like we were talking about indestructible. It's just that there would have to be a lot of conditions associated with maintaining indestructible that could be semi-easily broken by most other armies. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like along the lines of pour over the pages from blue, right? Like blue, it says like your planeswalker gets +1 toughness, I think, as long as you have 3 cards in hand. Like my first thought was like, all right, if you have like at least 5 or 6 cards in your hand, then like yeah, then maybe some creature is indestructible, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's
but then
ways.
What's stopping you from just keeping 5 or 6 cards in your hand?
Well, nothing really. Well, I would say primarily the top 2 things are blue can mess with your deck. Well, it's mostly just Jace's Erasure, but there's also the Exile, which is cool. But so there's 2 major things with that though. Blue and black can kind of mess with your hand / your deck and make that black especially like they can make you discard tons of cards. Let's face it. But on the other half though is that like green and red, or I guess maybe even other white. Let's say like other white armies, that means like if you have to hold 5 or maybe 6 cards in your hand, that think about it, like if you have a deck of 12 cards, you're basically excluding almost half of your deck from the game, right? Like that's a pretty big downside.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Yeah, it's more easily balanced. Well, maybe not more easily balanced, but I don't think it sounds as strong as it might initially sound to be like to have like a figure that's basically invincible, but then you basically cut your deck in half by doing it. I think it can be worked around. And again, like I don't think you would ever give a planeswalker indestructible for almost any reason. I don't know. Maybe there's reasons, but it would have to be like.
Oh, absolutely not.
It would not have to be based on hand size, because yeah, then it really would be like only black could ever kill that guy. But like I've drafted some ideas of a planeswalker enchantment that makes like the planeswalker indestructible for a turn or something like that, to be like I think it's the one is like as long as you have like 1 or 2, maybe it was 2. 2 white creatures adjacent to your planeswalker, it was indestructible. I want to say until the end of turn, or maybe until forever, so that like the planeswalker is indestructible, but it's like you can just kill the creatures next to him, right? And that would be far easier to do.
Yeah. Well, like Yeah, indestructible could be possible with some sort of like condition you have to meet, well, like the spell you were talking about that you like designed.
Yeah, exactly. There has to
Or
be heavy
yeah,
conditionals. Where like in
or
the
like
trading card game, it's like indestructible is just
yeah,
like monsters or creatures. Creatures just show up and they have indestructible, and then it's like have fun. Where yeah, like we simply
yeah.
just can't have something that you can summon and it has just flat out indestructible because that's just way too powerful in AOTP.
I suppose one thing that does weaken indestructible, at least in the card game, is indestructible makes the creature immune to damage and effects that say destroy.
Yeah.
But there are multiple cards. I think every color has cards that say, oh, exile something.
Yeah.
So every color can deal with indestructible in the card game. But in AOTP, if something just has blank indestructible, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Right. There's like not a single color that can really deal with it except for blue with unsummon, and that's only against squads, and that's temporary.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. We need to, right? If we're gonna introduce no conditional indestructible, yeah, it would have to be, as you say, like every color is gonna have to get something, or maybe we introduce more colorless spells that would make that more possible. But it would be way too centralizing, and I still don't really agree with just adding like flat out indestructible in AOTP. I would always prefer that like. In my mind, I would prefer that indestructible always comes with conditions in AOTP, so that like there's always one way. And like again, it would have to be something that most armies could work around, because like I don't want indestructible to be too centralizing, where like every deck has to include one or two ways to exile. Because I just personally don't think that should be a thing.
I mostly agree.
Yeah. You don't have to agree with me. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind. It's right. It just comes down to we need if exile is the primary way to deal with indestructible, we need more exile effects that other colors can use then before we introduce anything that that can be indestructible like that.
Yeah, but even then, if it's like, oh, exile something that's on the board already, that could be really good. Because it's kind of like Killing Wave or Fel the Mighty, in a sense, except instead of targeting multiple creatures, it's, oh, you off the board forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the case of, right, like even if we can pick out one single creature, who's going to have indestructible? Like, we can't give indestructible. It's like, what I should say is, if you give indestructible to a really expensive creature, then you generally are probably going to make exile effects probably rather expensive to like make up for that. Right? And then it's like, so that there's like it's like a double-edged sword that like, sure, you might have like this really big creature that's indestructible and he's 150 or whatever, 100 plus points. So then that means, like, if you do have an exile effect, well, actually, maybe it's not as bad as I think, but still, that, like, if you make an exile card that's, like, 30 or 40 points, that's, like, a really expensive spell that doesn't work super well against other creatures, like, against cheap squads and stuff, but maybe that's part of the trade-off. The more I'm sitting here and thinking about it, the more I'm like, that could be an actual part of the trade-off, to be like, if you want like the best way to deal with indestructible, then you're going to pay for it by being slightly weaker against like squads, like tons of little figures.
Yeah, because it's most definitely that exile card, whatever it would definitely not be, oh, exile a whole army card. It would have to be exile a figure.
Yeah.
That isn't a Planeswalker for obvious reasons.
Yep. I could see temporarily exiling Planeswalkers, like almost as like even a built-in like self-exile effect, which I think what's his name? Wait, was it? There was a fellow that put one in the Discord.
I want to say kind of like the custom Vronos I made.
Yes. There are ways to work around that to be like, yeah, exile until like the start of the next player, or until the start of your next turn. I think like, I shouldn't say work around, rather like that seems to work pretty perfectly within the turn structure of AOTP already, that I don't think it would be very hard to implement those kinds of effects. But there was a fellow that made it was a white custom. I don't remember. It was like a spirit planeswalker or something like that, I want to say. But like he would like move and attack, and like at the end of the turn you could exile him. The only thing is, what we have to know is like when you do exile, like his enchantments and like damage would have to stay on him. But yeah, then at the start of like the next turn, at the start of your next turn, you could put him down. It was either like back on the same space that he left, or like maybe adjacent to a creature. But it sounded really unique, and like that's something I want to explore at some point.
Well, one thing that I'm definitely interested in is whenever Kaldheim set is made, Kaldheim has its own little multiverse in it.
How so?
Like, how is Kaldheim going to work?
Is Kaldheim the one where like the dragons, like there's like dragon storms or whatever, and like a bunch of baby dragons fall out of the sky?
No, that's Tarkir.
Oh, okay. Well, explain Kaldheim to me, because I don't think I know anything.
Kaldheim, it's complicated because, like I said, it has its own little multiverse. I guess kind of think of it similar to like a Viking plane.
Uh-huh.
Like a sort of like Norse-inspired plane.
And
like,
what, do they have like multiple like weird like Greek gods and stuff in there, or like I guess when you say it's multi
yes,
what did you say it's multi something?
Gods.
Okay, when you said it's like multi something, like, so what does that mean? It's multi-layered. It's like a multiverse in and of itself. Like, explain, like, why? What are like the multiple layers that we're dealing with?
First off, the one that I know most about, which I don't know a whole lot about, is I think it's called Istfell.
Okay.
Think of it like Asgard.
Okay, yeah.
It's a place where there's spirits vibe.
Okay.
And then there's another one that the elves rule. I don't know what it's called, but I think Tyvar is from that.
Huh, okay.
If you know the Planeswalker Tyvar.
I don't.
I think his name is Tyvar. Okay. He's a green-black Planeswalker. He's Golgari.
Huh.
There's another one that I only know it because of one specific thing that happened in the Kaldheim lore. Because you know how much I like Vorinclex.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody made a video all about Vorinclex's lore. So yeah, he went to Kaldheim, grabbed part of the world tree, and then just noped out of there.
Of course he did.
And that's why March of the Machine happened, because Vorinclex grabbed a piece of the world tree, and Elish Norn was like, hee invasion tree, go.
Wow. Man, Magic's so full of like interesting things like that. That's so cool. At some point, I mean, that's gonna be way down the road for me. But I do gotta like try and catch up on some of this stuff, and I don't know if I can commit a lot of it to memory, but it is really neat.
I just know it because out of all of the different factions, well, what I call factions in Magic, I'm most interested in the Phyrexians.
Yeah, they're
I
certainly
don't know
unique.
why. They just seem cool.
Hey, D-Dance, I'll be right back in a moment. I gotta run to the bathroom. But when I get back anyway, what am I gonna? What is it? Warping Whale. I want to talk a little bit about Warping Whale. Eldrazi Conscription and Gruesome Slaughter, the last 3 colorless spells that we kind of haven't really covered. I don't know if you want to read those again real quick, but I'll be back and we'll talk about those in a moment, alright?
Alright.
Alright, I'm back. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so the other... Where was I? Warping Well? Yeah, the other cards I want to talk about, because we're pretty much moving into playtesting these. Warping Well we have playtested a little bit, actually, and it seems pretty good, but as far as, like, it seems like it's good enough at 25 points for what it does. But what do you think of Warping Well? Can you think of, like, any, like, I don't know, any particularly powerful interactions or anything jump out at you?
First off, with the second option, good choice having it be a squad creature and not either a squad or a hero. Good choice with that. Because, yeah, you can't bring back the Ruiner for pretty much free.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely not.
But, so, yeah, good choice with that. Very good choice.
Yeah.
The first effect, the first effect seems very niche.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
I say
like,
niche personally,
there
but I've
isn't a
heard
whole lot of
niche.
situations.
But go ahead.
I don't think there's a whole lot of situations where that first effect would be useful.
Not really.
I guess maybe with when you're playing black, maybe, because then you can just, well, no, that would just be a worse, like, whatever Mixolis's ability is.
Yeah, at any price.
I think it's at any price. Yeah. Because it would just be a worse at any price, basically.
Yep.
So, yeah, I can't think of a whole lot of situations where that first effect would be useful, but at least off of the top of my head. But that second effect, oh heck yeah!
Yeah, yeah. That's basically what we've done so far, or said so far. Is that, like, the first effect? It's only been good really against the Elf Rangers, and I don't really, like, they don't really need to be nerfed in any way, but they have 1 toughness, so it's really easy to just flat out kill one of them. The other effects? Yeah, return Eldrazi squad creature from your yeah, graveyard to the battlefield. That's the same
Just
cost
so you know,
as...
you did become a robot again.
No! Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Uh-oh. Is he crashing again? D-Dance, are you back? Man,
Oh?
Oh, you there? No.
Wait.
Your phone is a lot of fun. Can you hear me? Well, alright. For anyone watching the stream, yeah, this Warping Whale, the 25-point cost, yeah, it mostly stems from respawning an Eldrazi squad creature, which is... This is basically the same price as Black's Rise of the Dark Realms, which lets you bring back any creature. Arguably, Rise of the Dark Realms is better because you're not stuck to raising an Eldrazi squad only. So maybe, there's actually potential to probably drop this to like 20 points.
Hey, I think I'm... Good news, you're not a robot.
Yeah, good. You're back? You're back? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright, good.
I have no clue what you said after you, like, talked... You became a robot immediately after you said Elf Rangers.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So yeah, Warping
Like,
Well,
I guess
I
like
was
Elf
just talking
Rangers.
to the stream anyway, and I was just saying that Warping Well, like the cost of it being 25 points is mostly because Black's Rise of the Dark Realms kind of does the same thing, except you can just return any squad creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it feels like this kind of has to cost like 20 to 25 points anyway, because it's just return an Eldrazi squad creature.
Yeah. And it's from your graveyard as well, so it's kind of... In my opinion, it's kind of a worse Rise of the Dark Realms.
It is. But it's generally going to be a card you only use when you're using the Eldrazi tribal stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the destroy a target squad or token with 1 toughness or less is basically... I would think its only real use is mostly against the Elf Rangers, but you can also kill a zombie or
or a Phoenix.
Yep, the Phoenix with it. Or like you can use something funny like one of the other black spells. It's funny enough that Warping Whale, now that I'm looking, it has a lot more synergy with black than other colors. But like you can use one of the other black spells, or like the Necrotic Sense from the Bladed Reavers. So that, like if you can reduce someone else's power or toughness by a little bit. Like the Bladed Reavers, yeah, gives the squad creatures -2 power or -2 toughness. I always say power. But yeah, you can combine it, or like the other black enchantments that give -1 toughness. There's some combination to be had with that, but it's still pretty minor, in my opinion. I'm trying to think of what like expensive squads there are that have at least 3 toughness. Like let's say Necrotic Sense bumps like an expensive squad from 3 toughness down to 1, and then they get insta killed.
I want to say maybe a blue squad.
None of the blue squads, no.
Do all of them have like 2 or above, or 4 or above?
Yeah. Well, the ones that would probably be affected by this most terribly, I should say. The only one blue squad is the that would be affected is the cheap one. Oh, sorry, the semi-cheap one, the projections. They cost 65 points, but they have 2 toughness.
But But yeah, you just throw Reavers and then you can just say, no, stop existing.
Yeah.
Because it does say 1 toughness or less.
Yep.
So.
Yes. So there's some synergy, yeah, and I think I've already tried it. Maybe I haven't. At least I thought about it. But like, use Warping Whale with Rise of the Dark Realms from black, so that you can effectively bring like your Eldrazi squad back 2 times, like one of the creatures back 2 times.
Yeah, that could actually be pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, this is mostly a well. And one other thing to add is there's some synergy with Spatial Contortion, because it gives a creature -1 toughness. Where's Spatial Contortion at? Oh yeah, right above Warping Whale. Yeah, target creature gets -1 toughness, so you could combine that with Warping Whale to potentially knock something down to one toughness or less with Spatial Contortion there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, altogether, what do you think of Warping Whale? I guess you and I are mostly theorizing here. Is that what it is? Does it seem like it's pretty decent at 25 though?
I'd say it could be a pretty decent 25 cost spell.
Alright, that makes sense.
If I had to guess, though, it would probably really only be seen in like an Eldrazi tribal for the most part.
Yeah. I think there's potential for it in case, like, at least currently, like, I like to put the Eldrazi Scions in a lot of my armies, like, randomly, because 55 points is relatively cheap considering the cost of a lot. Like, most army cards seem to cost usually between, like, 70 and 100. So 55, it's usually easier to squeeze them in. So I could potentially use Warping Whale with some of my random armies with Scions, but you're mostly right that this is probably just something like, if you're spamming Eldrazi squads, like 1 or 2 of them, you're going to be using that for them. Alright, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to Eldrazi Conscription here. The enchant, so this is supposed to be an enchant unique squad, I think, not really an enchant common squad. We're not touching common squads, so I guess for anyone who's listening, and for you, D-Dance, just to know that, like, anything that says, like, enchant planeswalker or hero or squad in here is going to be unique. We're not introducing commons, so we're not going to make things that will generally affect commons like this. So, like, it's not going to be an enchant common squad. That's just not, there's no point. But, yeah, so the text. What do you think of this? What do you think of Eldrazi Conscription at a baseline? I've actually never play tested it yet, by the way.
It seems like, I want to say is it Seize the Day? No, it's not Seize the Day. Whatever that red enchant is.
Oh yeah, the Stubborn Resilience, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I almost want to say a better Stubborn Resilience. Because...
Go ahead.
Well, I think Stubborn Resilience gives like +1 power, +2 toughness.
It's, yeah.
Maybe
so,
+2/+2?
Yeah, it's +2/+2 and then +2 move for Stubborn.
Mm-hmm. So, like, it's almost better. It might be on, like, the same level as Stubborn Resilience, in my opinion. Because, first off, all colors get access to it. So, when you pair that with red, you play Eldrazi Conscription, and then Stubborn Resilience on that. That's +3/+3, and +2 move.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
So that already is pretty dang good.
But you have to keep
in
mind...
outside of red, I could definitely still see it having use.
Yeah, definitely.
I could definitely still see it having use.
So, regarding red, that is a pretty unique combo. I didn't consider that. The one big problem I see is that Stubborn Resilience already costs 30, and then if you Eldrazi Conscription costs 40.
Yeah.
So that's basically 1/3 of your deck for 2 cards.
Yeah, but it's a really good combo at the same time.
I would love to try that. Yeah, I like the idea. I'm gonna have to try it at some point.
Try it against Dawn. You'll love it.
So there's one more thing though, is that yeah, you could use this to steal like an opponent's squad figure. Like that's fine. That's kind of the point. Is like right, like you said earlier. That's like when the Eldrazi show up, it's like they just take over whatever the mines or whatever of the little humans who are defending their planes. That's definitely part of the point. That it's like you generally want to use this to steal someone else's squad, but there's nothing stopping you from putting this on your own squad either. It's just that the that you control enchanted squad, like that just does nothing for you. Like you can still, it's like a minor stubborn resilience if you only play it on your own squad.
Mhm. So I could definitely see it having use in pretty much any deck. Like any army, I could see it having use.
Yeah, it could. For 40 points, it's not something like I'm never including this card in my deck just so I can play it on my own squad. Like yeah, it's 40 points because you're generally stealing a squad from somebody else. It's just that it's a little more flexible than it at first seems, because in case like you accidentally kill their squad or they don't have any squads for, you know, if it's like the heroes builds, that you can still play this on your own squad. It's just, yeah, for 40 points, it's like that's definitely never your top priority to use it on your own squad.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of balancing factor here, because number one, you have to play it at the end of the turn of an Eldrazi creature you control. So even if you do take an opponent's, you know, their last squad figure, they can still retaliate and potentially kill it. And this is partially why, at least the more I sit here and think about it, the more I wonder if this should be dropped a little bit in points to be like maybe it should be 30. But my first thought is, yeah, since you played at the end of your turn, that it gives your opponent a chance to react because it's immediately, you know, their turn next. It's probably easy enough for most people to react to this card and just like deal with the squad that you just stole from them, honestly.
Yeah. Like make it 30-35 points.
Maybe. I'm gonna play test it at 40 because this is kind of what we just baselined it at as like a guess. But yeah, there's a lot of parts of me that are like I could already see this easily going to 30 points, but there'll be a time for that. Altogether, I think this looks like a fun spell though. Any final thoughts from you before we move on to Gruesome Slaughter?
If I ever play Eldrazi Tribal, which I'm gonna be entirely honest, I probably will at some point. It'll probably have Eldrazi inscriptions in it.
That's a fun card. That's what we want it to be. We want it to be something fun and interesting for sure. All right, Gruesome Slaughter. We'll tackle this. This is the last color, the sorcery, in our set here. Alright, so you play it at the start of the turn of a hero creature you control. Alright, so there's a couple things going on here, right? So we didn't change it, I don't think, sorry, but it says target creature gets +1 power until end of turn. So it doesn't have to be your hero creature that's taking the turn. That's something to note here. But then it says, right, that creature, whoever you chose to get +1 power, will fight up to one creature that's adjacent to it. So the more I'm looking at this, first of all, I have thought about this a couple times. Technically, the way this card is written, you could choose an opponent's figure. Like, let's say you're playing more than just a 2-player game. You could choose an opponent's figure and have it fight somebody else's figure. You get what I'm saying? Like, you could choose player 2's figure to get +1 power.
Oh, wait,
and then have them fight player 3's figure. So that's a possibility here. I don't know if we want that to be a thing, but that's something we need to keep in mind. You know, and maybe for the sake of let me add friendly with a question mark in here, so that way I don't forget this. But I remember I was thinking about this one day, and I was like, wait a minute, I could literally target anyone's creature. And maybe it would be fun just for that, to be like, in a multiplayer game, you can just literally have 2 other opponents bash each other with it. And I don't know, for 35 points, that's probably fine.
Especially if you aren't running a hero build, just like toss that into like your spell deck for like a toss that into your deck for like a multiplayer game. Like, you aren't going to use it on yourself, but it'll be funny.
Yeah.
For everybody, well, no, for you and if there's another player besides the 2 players fighting each other.
Yeah. So, Yeah, if you think you like that idea, I think I can go along with it. Because I don't know like the lore really behind whatever gruesome slaughter is supposed to represent, but I think yeah for that alone is kind of funny. But for the most part, you're probably picking one of your own creatures and fighting some other opponent's creature with it, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I think 9 times out of 10, you're probably selecting your hero that you're taking the turn with, having it fight, and then taking the rest of the turn so that you can take advantage of the +1 power.
Well, one thing that I immediately thought of when I saw this spell, like, and what it does, is, ooh, I already know which one of my customs would really love this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Of course. Vorinclex destroying things.
Like, yeah. Like, first off, he gets +1 attack, probably, hopefully kills something, and then he gets a buff out of it.
Yeah, another buff by killing, yeah. I like fight. I really do like the idea of fight. Like, I think I would like to add, I don't know how many more fight cards, but I'm glad that at least it's here in colorless so that it's much easier for pretty much every color to take advantage of fight if they really want to.
Yeah, and it seems like something red would probably have as well.
I can see that, yep.
Like, I think the 2 colors that would primarily have it would be green and red.
Yeah. White.
Maybe black. Maybe.
Wait, are we talking about fight as a mechanic or about gruesome slaughter as the card? Like, who would want to use the card?
Fight as a mechanic.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's definitely green and red. Based on what I've seen, at least for MTG, yeah.
Yeah. And a huge maybe for black.
Yeah, I can see potential. And no, as far as gruesome slaughter, I guess when I said white, what I meant with that was like gruesome slaughter as far as like a kind of a hero centric spell. White really likes to do the hero decks, so like this is easily something I would include in a lot of the white decks I think right now.
Yeah, toss it on like the core Aeronaut captain. Doesn't he have like base 6 attack or something?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that'll be a huge turn with them. Probably.
It'll be nutty.
Like, throw them in, gruesome slaughter, bonk, and then probably like stab the planeswalker.
Yeah, for an additional +1 attack. Yeah. Well, yeah, that seems like a good turn, but that's definitely why it costs 35 points. Because yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good card. You just gotta wait for the right context to use it for sure.
I think every color could really benefit off of it, except for blue.
Yeah, blue probably benefits the least, and maybe that's a good thing because blue's already a really good color. So yeah.
Hey, just like in Magic the Gathering, the card game.
Freaking blue. I feel like blue's one of the more interesting colors to play in AOTP though. Like even though it is really powerful, they needed to tweak it down a little bit, but like they have a lot of really unique like mechanics and spells and abilities. Like it's really cool to play blue if it just wasn't so stupid overpowered.
Yes. And that's why I made Jin Gataxius.
He's got his fun mechanics.
He's just a funny little guy.
With his beast creation.
That makes a not so little guy. Yeah. He's a funny little guy that makes a not so funny, not so little guy. Like, DistractionDance 3.0 approves. Probably because it's my custom.
Yeah, of course. Gotta love your own customs.
Except for Urabrask.
I think he's very unique. I feel like he's one of the more unique ones.
He is. But I just don't like using him.
Yeah, PTSD
Other
from
people,
from getting
go ahead,
destroyed
use
by
them.
the what is it, the haste with the core aeronaut, Captain.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did that. Uh...
But I'm scrolling
Anyway,
through.
back to gruesome
ahead.
slaughter.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say I don't have anything else to say with gruesome slaughter. Anything final from you?
Funny spell.
Yeah.
Would use.
Yeah, it sounds like fun to me. We haven't tested it yet, but we'll get to it at some point. It should be. I would imagine we get to it in the next I don't know, couple weeks to maybe a month. So good. Glad you like the idea of it. I was just scrolling through all the creatures though. All the creatures have basically been play tested except for all the creatures have been play tested at least once, so that's good. All the colored creatures are basically ready to go. I could see maybe tweaking, I don't know, maybe tweaking Ashaya a little. I'm not sure. The Planeswalkers are basically ready. Yeah, Blightherder. Blightherder seems pretty good. It looks like you're looking at Blightherder right now. He seems pretty good right now, especially with what was his name? Don. Don used Blightherder with white against me, and it was pretty good. He's pretty beefy. 120 points. He's got 4 toughness, 6 life, and 6 move. He's pretty hard. He's pretty beefy, like kind of hard to kill, and he can get around the map pretty easily. Brood. Wait, was it Brood? Let me see. It is Brood. Yeah, Brood. Dude, Brood is a really fun spell to play with. As far as like interesting choices to consider.
Like, yay! Exile has a purpose.
Yeah.
Well, it has more of a purpose.
It's pretty much Exile's primary purpose right now, isn't it? It's just Brood. Other than like knocking spells out of play so the blue can't reuse it, or so like the recall glyph can't be used on one of those spells. Those are the really the primary 2 reasons why you exile, and like sometimes you don't even see the exile glyph on the map. So, yeah, we do need to add more exile stuff, but this is kind of like a small set, so maybe we'll still tweak more. There's been parts of me that have been thinking, skipping down a little bit. If you go down to the next hero, the salvage drone, our cheapo, I've been thinking about maybe changing his ability. Instead of saying you have to discard a card from your hand to give him +1 power, I was thinking maybe we somehow make him interact with cards in exile too. I don't know how, but there's more potential here to just to be like, do something with the cards in exile, you know?
I almost want to say, like, give him, like, another ability, like...
We could.
If an opponent has, like, if an opponent has, like, X cards in their exile, Salvage Drone gets, like, oh, hey, like, yay, +1 move or something like that, like, ooh, +1 power or +1 toughness.
You know, I like that idea. That's,
Granted, I'm not sure how many, how much exile is currently in this, I'm gonna call it mini set.
Yeah, it's a custom, yeah. It's basically a half set. So, I could tell you, right now, what we currently have slated, is we have the Oath of Gideon will, when you enchant your Gideon Planeswalker with it, it'll exile 1 card from the top of somebody's deck. Mindrakers exile 1 card when they deal damage to that opponent's Planeswalker. That exiles a card from the top of their deck as well. And then Grave Birthing exiles a card that's already in the graveyard. So that we have 3 sources of exile right now. 2 of which are colorless, and 1 is only white.
I have like...
And on top of the 1 being only white, it's technically only Gideon. So like dual color Planeswalkers can't use Gideon, the Oath of Gideon.
So I guess like have like that ability be like, oh, if your opponent has 2 cards in exile, Salvage Drone gets like +1 something.
So you make a good point here, and I'm gonna make a small note here. I'm gonna twist what you. I like your suggestion, although what I should say is that I like the condition of, hey, if there's so many things in exile, do this, or something else happens. I want to change the condition, or the not the condition, but rather the what am I thinking of? The buff, or
the effect.
Yeah, there you go. The effect, like the result. Because what I'm thinking, my wheels are spinning a little bit here. So if you scroll down a little bit, or maybe you don't even have to scroll, I'll scroll down at least for the stream, and I'll talk to you out loud here. Jack, I see his name on here. So Don and I, where was it? So Grave Birthing, it creates an exile, or an exile. It exiles a spell and it creates an Eldrazi creature token. And Don and I have definitely come to this conclusion very quickly that like these Eldrazi tokens they're basically useless. Unless you're using the Blight Herder, and even in the games where we're using the Blight Herder, if the Blight Herder dies, like I think in the one game I had 5 Eldrazi tokens that were on the map, and like they just couldn't do anything because the Blight Herder was dead. So now my wheels are spinning, and I'm wondering if we should add something for the 10-point Eldrazi that says like as long as there's at least 1 card in an opponent's exile. So the thing is, we're gonna have to make that pretty wide, because if we say we could say target opponent exile, I guess, but something to the effect of saying if there's one player who has at least 1 card in exile, like one opponent, I would want to keep that clear. As long as there's one opponent with 1 card in exile, you can maybe like move an attack with a token, with an Eldrazi token. So that way there's at least 2 ways to do something with these stupid tokens, right?
I could definitely see that. Like, yay, give the tokens more use.
Yeah, it's because my biggest qualm with the Blight Herder / the tokens, right, is exactly that like he can die semi quickly sometimes. I put mine. Maybe mine was in a bad position. I definitely played like stupid aggressive with him, and maybe that was just bad positioning. But yeah, when he dies too early, let's say, or maybe bad luck or whatever. Yeah, like if you have 3, 4, 5 tokens, they all just stand around and do nothing. Like you can't activate them. So it would be nice to have a second source, and I feel like this guy kind of needs something to be like, to look at the exile and be like, let's do some more with the exile. And I like the idea of saying that, like, as long as there's at least, as long as there's at least one card in an opponent's exile, then you can move an attack with a token. I don't know, either after this guy or before this guy moves and attacks. I'd
say probably after to try and keep it balanced.
How would that balance him? Like, so why after? Why not like before he moves and attacks? What's like your primary like scenario you're thinking of?
Because of his move speed. So like, let's say you attack with like one of the tokens before the salvage drone actually moves and does stuff. You attack with a token, and it gets a Planeswalker to the point where the salvage drone can kill, which probably isn't very likely. But then that salvage drone, with its 6th move, can just zoom across the map pretty much like green, and just stab that Planeswalker and kill it.
Okay. That's...
Whereas, like, if you have the token move after it attacks, it adds some more risk to, like, maybe the salvage drone doesn't get the Planeswalker to the point where a token can kill it.
I see.
So, now your salvage drone is sitting there and will probably die, but you still get to do something with a token.
Okay. Alright, so I got 2 primary things to bring up regarding this. So far, we have all the token Eldrazi. We have them. The tokens are created with 5 move, 3 power, and 3 toughness. So technically, they have more base power than the salvage drone anyway, but less base move. And the salvage drone only meets 3 base power, or he gets up to 3 power if. Oh, what the heck? He only gets 3 base power if you discard a card at the start. Yeah, so that's quite a cost. Like that's really like that ability is supposed to be there like as like if your Planeswalker's dead, at least you can still do something with your cards by feeding them into him. That was really the primary reason. But yeah, Salvage Drone like by himself, dude, he's not a real threat to pretty much anything. Like he's 10 points. He's not made to be a threat. He's just a filler, you know.
He's like a he's like a breakable object that you can move.
Yeah, I guess that's probably a decent way to put it. Yeah, he's like a last. So there's two big things we wanted with this guy, right? Yeah, number one is a 10-point colorless thing, so it's like he's just filler in case you have like 30 points left over. At least you're a little bit closer to maxing out your army. Then number two is, as I just mentioned, it's like if your Planeswalker gets killed early, like maybe you only have like this guy and like 1 or 2 squads left, that at least you can do something with your spell cards instead of sitting there with like 3 or more spell cards in your hand with like no use for them. It gives you a reason to at least discard spells so you can still do something with the resources that you now otherwise couldn't do anything with. So he accomplishes that. Like that's his job. He does that. I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess we're kind of getting on a tangent here, but I guess my whole point was that like whether you take a turn with a token before he moves and attacks or after, I don't think is a big deal. Considering he's the same power as they are. Like on a good day, he's the same power as they are. I would like to add, though, I think I'm going to add a note that says, hey, should we add some kind of, if there's, I kind of want to just say if there's at least one card in the opponent's exile, then you can move and attack with a token, an Eldrazi token. But I also think that would probably warrant his cost going up a little bit. I feel like for 10 points, that's like getting to be a little bit too good.
Yeah, like maybe make him 15.
Yeah, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, 15 to 20. But again, I'm not going to like call this official by any means, but I think this is a good idea to have on paper and be like, let's consider this because these Eldrazi tokens are annoying when the Blightherder dies, and it would be nice to have something else to be able to do something with them. But on top of this, something else I didn't consider, Black can really make use of the Eldrazi tokens, because like they can just start sacrificing tokens for all their stuff. But like other than Black, there's really not.
Yeah, but that's 1 out of 5 colors.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say, other than Black, right? The other colors like can't do anything. So then it really becomes an issue for 4 out of 5 colors that like if Blightherder just gets killed too quickly, yeah, you have tokens that now all they can do is, well, yeah, they're basically destructible objects that don't really affect you, which is still kind of, it's reasonable, but I'd prefer that, yeah, there's more ways to manipulate them. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take one moment. I'm gonna write like a quick note here to be like, if there is, I'm just gonna write a lot of what we said here, and then like a potential point cost increase too.
Yep, go ahead and do that.
Okay. I just want to make sure this matches. Wait, where's the Blightherder? He's above. Oh, a token Eldrazi creature. That's what it is. Okay, so it's a token with a token Eldrazi creature you control. Okay. And then I'm gonna say maybe 15 points in with a question mark. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Like, his cost is really not going to be, like, at least as, like, our first extremely cheap, single hero guy. He's really, I'm not super concerned about his cost as far as, like, the difference between 10 and 20 points is basically non-existent. Like, he's the only thing that can squeeze into an army at 10 or 20 points,
Yeah,
But I also don't want to pull a Heroescape where, are you familiar with Isamu from Heroescape by any chance?
I am not.
Alright, so I'll explain very briefly. Isamu is a 10, here, let me see. He's a 10-point hero from Heroescape. I'm gonna look it up real quick and maybe I'll send you a link. Or are you watching my stream by any chance?
I currently am not.
Okay. I'm gonna send you a link and I'll just kind of briefly explain to you. I'll send it to you in the Discord real quick. Where the heck are you? So this is a 10-point guy, and he's super annoying. So his abilities, I'll wait. Tell me when you get there and you get it open.
It is currently loading. Okay, I have opened it.
All right, so you look at his card. So he has his top ability is Vanish. All right, so he's 10 points. He's 10 points, 1 life, 1 toughness. Very easy to kill, at least you would think. But then you have Vanish 9. Yeah, and it says whenever he's attacked and the opponent rolls at least 1 skull, you roll the d20, and if you get a 9 or higher, he takes no damage, and you can move him up to 4 spaces. So it's like, what is it? That's 60% of the time, he just doesn't take damage from attacks. Despite, like, no matter how many skulls the opponent rolls, 60% of the time it just means nothing, and he can move away. So that's really... Yes, yeah, and I was just about to say next is that Phantom Walk means he never takes LEAs, he can move through anything he wants. And then he has this last ability. Like, he has 3 attack already, which for 10 points is really not terrible. And then he has this ability in the bottom, which says when he attacks a Jandar figure, he gets 2 additional attack dice. So it's like you have a 10-point figure that could potentially roll 5 dice, and 60% of the time doesn't take damage from attacks. It's like, what were they thinking with this guy? Like, this is so dumb. It's so dumb how good he is. But my whole point of taking you to show you the
He does
evil.
seem incredibly stupid for how good he is.
Yeah. But my whole point of taking you down that, showing you the evil that is Isamu is that, like, I don't want to make something that's too good at 10 points, but I don't think Salvage Your Own is anything near that right now. He has 2 life and 2 toughness, so he's, like, moderately beefy. Like, moderately beefy for 10 points, I mean. That's okay, I guess. But I think Don, I was talking to Don, and even Don came out, and he was like, well, he's like, you look at one of the Mind Rakers, and I think they're 18 points per figure, because it's a 3-figure squad at 55 points. So I think it's either 17 or 18 points per figure, and they have 2 life, 7 move, 3 power, and 3 toughness. So it's like this guy costing 10 or maybe even 15 points is really, like, it's not off scale by any means, you know? Did you crash? Are you there? I think he crashed. But anyway, yeah, Isamu, I think Vanish is the huge, like, man, why would they give a figure with the ability to basically ignore 60% of attacks? It's just insane. It's really silly. But then to give him Phantom Walk, which is Salt and Loom, and Dishonorable Attack, which is like a guy with 3 power, or 3 attack, Heroescape terms. Like, for 10 points, a guy with 3 attack is really plenty by itself. There was no reason to buff him even further against any figure, frankly. But, I guess that's why he's used all the time.
Hello?
Hey, you're there. Can you hear me?
Oh, no.
You heard? How's it going over there, D-Dance? Nothing. Oh. Was this like a low definition scan and a high definition scan? This one looks like it's like older. Like oddly like digitized almost. Huh.
Hi, maybe? No?
Hey, are you there? Hello?
Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry, I heard you. Can you hear me?
Mm.
He's really struggling. He's back. Can you hear me?
I heard hear me.
Oh, am I still a robot?
Yes! I can hear you again!
I can't stop being a robot, dude. I'm being taken over. Being hacked. They're using nanobots. It's the U.S. government using nanobots in the air, dude. I can't help it. Anyway, where were we before you got disconnected? So you see how broken Isamu is, right?
Yes.
I mean, not really broken. For 10 points, he's broken. He's not actually, like, killing even, like, a reasonable, like, 60 or 70 point army card, for the most part.
Mhm.
But anyway, the whole point was just saying that, yeah, like, Salvage Drone, like, for 10 points, he's, I would say, 2 life, 2 power, 2 toughness. He's not, like, it's not game warping. Like, he's gonna do 10 points worth of stuff most games, I think. He's just gonna die, frankly. But then we got the Mind Rakers, our last colorless squad. Have you got to play test with the Mind Rakers?
Just a heads up, are you okay if I take a pause real quick?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna mute real quick.
Yep. We'll hang out for a moment. Man, I got a nasty blister on my thumb from playing my guitar. Can I get this to show up on the camera? Probably not. Where is it? It's like right here. Yeah, wait, you can kind of see it. Yeah, there it is. You can see it right there. It's like extra round. It almost looks like a little pimple on my thumb. Ugh, hurts. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked the Mind Rakers have... I'm honestly shocked we dropped them down to 90 points. I really didn't think these guys were going to be a 90-point squad, but they just don't... This is, like, very average. The more I look at these stats, it's like the stats are very defining for them, which is kind of weird. Emerge is nice. Ingest is kind of hard to use. And the more I look at Ingest, the more I wonder if we should drop this last sentence and just make it a permanent exile, which probably would be fair to keep them at like 90 or 95 points. Isamu. All right, let's
Good time to come back?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Cool.
Give me 1 second. I'm actually writing a message in Discord because one of the fellows, he and I were probably going to play AOTP on Tabletop Simulator tonight. So I'm just right now to see when he's going to be available or if he will be available.
Okay.
Almost done. All right. Anyway, yeah, the last thing I really want to cover, we'll talk to you about the Mind Rakers, and then I'm probably gonna end up killing the chat. I'm gonna get some dinner soon.
Okay.
Mind
it is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're an hour later than. Yeah, you are an hour later than me, so yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I got 6 p.m. Getting hungry. But anyway, Mind Rakers. I don't know how much you've paid attention to our playtesting, but we originally had them pegged at 110 points, and we've since dropped them down to 90. They've been a lot less powerful than we all initially thought they would be. At least between me and Don and Luke, anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you've playtested them or even used them. I don't remember. But what do you think of them, as far as either if you have played with them or if you've read them at least? What do you think of them?
I think the only figure I've fought against from this set is the Gideon.
Oh yeah.
Which I hate.
So what do you think of the Mind Rakers? Just reading them, their stats, their abilities.
I like the emerge ability.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Emerge is generally more useful than ingest and like easier. I mean, emerge is definitely easier to use because ingest requires that you have to interact with your opponent's planeswalker, which is sometimes hard to do.
Yeah, I think they look kind of fun actually. Overall, yeah, probably gonna go into an Eldrazi army if I ever make one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the point. Yeah, that's pretty much a huge point of like what we're doing with the set is like we're taking the like we're trying to make the Ruiner and the Scions and like make them into like a good tribal thing. So we got the colorless spells that mostly work with the Eldrazi things, but there's a couple of them that are more general use too. But this is definitely like we're making the Eldrazi theme very cohesive in this deck. This is basically like, or in this expansion. Like, the way, I want to say the way Luke may have said it, and if maybe Luke doesn't say this, I certainly do, is that, like, Battle for Zendikar is like a half set, if you think about it. Like, it's very much like, it doesn't have anything, it doesn't have, like, the boards or, like, a lot of the spells and stuff like the other two sets had. Like, they were full-on sets. Battle for Zendikar was like a half set. Luke thought the Eldrazi deserved more, so that's why he wanted to do this Zendikar Expeditions thing. So like if in a way, basically, if you combine Zendikar Expeditions and Battle for Zendikar, it's supposed to like emulate what a full battle or what a full Zendikar set would have looked like in our mind, if you get what I'm saying.
You became a robot again.
No! How do I sound? Not good. I wonder if it... Can you hear me?
I understood a no. That's all I could understand.
Crap.
Kind of. You're a robot, but not a robot.
Alright.
How does that work?
I paused my music. I'm streaming music. Is it any better? No?
Okay.
Better now?
I heard something about music.
Is it better now? Man, what is... Huh. Alright, ingest. Can you, if you can understand me, can you check out ingest for the Mindrakers? I don't think he can understand me. What's my stream? What's my stream health look like? It looks like it's pretty decent based on what I see on my end here. Let me flip over and watch my own stream real quick just to see. You stop that.
Hello?
Oh, hey, I hear you.
I can understand you.
You still can't understand me?
I can understand you.
Oh, you can. Oh, good. That's good.
I agree. It is indeed.
Sorry. So Mindrakers, ingest. What do you think of ingest in particular?
Based off of what I've read, it reminds me of Blue.
Oh yeah, why?
Like Blue's deck shenanigans.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Because, like, oh, yeah, there goes this card in your deck. But, oh, wait, if we die, you get it back.
Yeah.
Like, so, seems like Blue shenanigans, and I kind of like that.
So what do you think about the whole when they leave the battlefield that the card goes back to the owner's library? Do you think it's a good idea?
I think it makes them more balanced than they would have been if it didn't.
Yeah. I could see that.
Which I'd say is a good thing.
Okay. Okay. I just ask you because, at least in my mind, as I've been playtesting them, I feel like you would think it makes them more balanced, but I'm not sure. At least for me, in my mind, I kind of want to scratch that whole that sentence off where it says when they leave the battlefield, it goes back on the owner's library. I almost want to just remove that altogether and just make it just like a once per game ability. I mean, it already is a once per game ability in that it says. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's like a once per game ability that just, okay, this card's gone, then yeah, sure. I'd be happy with that.
Okay. Yeah, it makes them seem more powerful to that like whenever they deal damage to an enemy planeswalker, can't combat damage, that it exiles it like effectively forever. Um, um, I just think it feels like a lot of the time so far that like when I have even like gotten combat damage through with a Mindbreaker, that the exile, like despite me exiling a card, it never made a difference, and it makes it even worse that like by the time the Rakers die, that card goes back to the opponent's deck. So like it doesn't. I think there was one playtest out of like probably a good 7 or 8, if not more, that ingest actually made a difference the way it's written. Um, Otherwise, yeah. So it's like what 16%? Is that math right? 12%, whatever it is, 13ish%. It's not. There's more parts of me that I think I just want to get rid of that last sentence. So that way it feels more impactful when you finally do get that combat damage in with these guys.
Yeah, I'd personally be fine with that.
We'd have to play test it for sure. Yeah, I guess I just want to know your thoughts because the more I played, the more I thought it just was more powerful than Emerge. But at least again at like first glance. But the more I've been playing, the more it's like Emerge is definitely really useful. It's a very good ability. Like it can stay, but Ingest has been like almost a non-ability for most of my games. Like it just does not make a difference. It could disappear from the card and it doesn't really change anything. So yeah, there's a part of me that it's like I wouldn't even mind bumping their cost up a little bit to like maybe 95, because even at 90 points, these guys do feel a little weak in my opinion. But like Ingest being a permanent, so like whenever they do deal damage, it becomes a permanent exile. I think that makes them feel like okay, they feel like a 90, a 90-point caliber unit at that point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover, dude. We talked about everything I felt like talking about. Do you have any questions as far as like?
We talked about colorless.
Yeah, we mostly talk. Well, yeah, it's what we're currently playtesting and like the stuff we're going to playtest. We got some good ideas written out here. We made some notes, so that's good. Where was I going? Yeah, do you have any questions as far as like? Since I know like you can't play test or like play much with us online right now. Do you have any questions as far as like what we're doing or I don't know anything like that regarding this set?
I'm kind of interested in how you're playtesting the colorless stuff. Are you like planning on like playtesting it like how you normally playtest, but with like every single color, or?
For the most part, yes. Don and I have especially been theory crafting, I guess. Like we've been trying to think of like where the colorless stuff would best fit into most armies, and then we try and like, what have we played? Let me think. So we played Gideon. He used Gideon against me. I was using Omnixilis. And then I used Gideon against him using Nissa. And then I played. Shoot, what did I use? I think I used Jace. Uh-oh, who's calling me? Spam caller.
The good Jace, hopefully.
Actually, it was the crappy Jace. Because Don gave me the idea, and I actually agreed with him.
Probably.
Yeah, the spell points, because the colorless spells are kind of expensive. that is kind of part of our problem, is that like spatial contortion is what 10 points. And we added Grave Birthing because it's also going to be kind of cheap. But most of the colorless spells are basically like 30 points plus, so it's kind of hard to squeeze them into most colors. So we thought, okay, yeah, we'll go with Bad Jace. And I can't remember. I think I wrote it out somewhere in the Discord. I wrote out my playtest of it was Bad Jace versus Chandra, I want to say. And I don't even remember how the playtest went. I'll look on the Discord right now, and we'll find out.
Was it just that one-sided?
Oh wait, no, it wasn't Chandra. It was Gideon, apparently. Let me look around here.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, so that's what it is. It was Jace, so it was blue. So like so Don and I had each play tested white with the colorless creatures, like white is using. It's Gideon using colorless creatures, mostly because of the Oath of Gideon, because it's the only it's a white spell that also exiles a card from the opponent's deck. Then the other idea was Jace because of the extra spell points. But this time it was Jace with the colorless stuff versus Gideon, who was just like it was like a standard Gideon build, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I played looks like 550 points. Rakers, Blight Herder. Okay. Let me see who won. Oh yeah, Jace. Sorry, Gideon won pretty handily. It was close though. Like Gideon almost died. It's just that I blew all of the I used all of the blue resources trying to kill Gideon, and he had 1 life left, and I couldn't kill him.
I could see an Obnixilis army with them, with the Eldrazi.
Oh, sorry. Repeat that one more time, D-Dance?
I could see an Obnixilis army with the Eldrazi.
Oh, yeah? What particular synergy do you think he has with them? Or, like, how can he enable them to be super good?
But it's more so they enable you to do good. Like, you as the player. Because, effectively, I could see it kind of, like, almost be a better Restless Zombie synergy. Because you make the tokens, and then just, okay, I'm pretty sure it's like at any price, kill it, draw a card, or draw 2 cards. I don't know how much it is.
Yes, draw 1 card, yep. You're right, I didn't consider that, even though I said it. Like, even though I said it earlier that like Obnixilis or like Black can really just like use all the tokens to destroy the tokens to like do all of their, hey, you gotta kill a creature in order to do this. Yeah, that could be. We probably should consider a little more of that, yeah.
Like, it's turbo drawing your deck when you're not playing blue.
Yeah, freaking blue. But yeah, I guess back to the original thing that you mentioned was that, yes, the plan is that we're generally going to try and pick like the top, what seems to be the top couple of builds for like a few of the colors, and test that. We're not going to pick like green and then have green plus colorless fight red, fight blue, fight white, fight black. Like we're not. Yeah, that's just way too much. But we're gonna like try and say what's like what seems to be the most powerful or synergistic builds for these guys, and try it in a few colors, which we already have. And we're gonna. I like the idea of trying it with black, and even just like intentionally using tokens as to feel like the black spells or to use at any price on.
Yeah.
I want to say I did that with
now that you mention it, I could
to heal him before the 4 damage. I think in the one game I played with Don, I did do that. I used the Altar's Reap, where I had to kill one of my creatures to heal Obnixilis, to heal 4 damage off of him. I think I killed a token for that, but I might not remember that right.
And now that you mention it, I could kind of see a possible green build.
Oh, what do you think?
Like, run like a whole bunch of like green spells that just like buff the attack. No, not attack. Buff the power.
Yeah.
Like, is it Overrun? No, it's not Overrun. I don't think that's a spell.
Yeah, Overrun is in this.
Whatever the spell is that gives... Oh. Whatever the spell is that gives trample.
Yeah, that's Overrun, yeah.
Oh, I guessed it. Let's go. But, yeah, you like run like Overrun with some of the Eldrazi. Like, just like run like a whole bunch of like, basically play aggro Eldrazi. Like a whole bunch of like aggro and not like, don't do what green is, I guess, quote-unquote built to do, at least with the first at least with the official AOTP sets,
Yeah.
don't have them running across the map. Have them do what green does in the card game. It's hard.
Smash things. So,
Yeah.
why do you think that's like something we should do with the Eldrazi instead of just use the Pummeru Elementals, which I think are probably better for that, honestly?
I think it could be better for the Eldrazi because I think Eldrazi have more synergies together than the Pummel Roots.
That's true. I can see that.
Overall.
Yep. That's a good point.
It's primarily from a synergistic point of view.
Okay. Yeah, point made to be like, yeah, so we would take things like Overrun and Titanic Growth, like those are good spells that, yeah, like you can use that with pretty much anything. But then you take Eldrazi creatures and some of the colorless spells and see how that works in mixed with a few of the green spells. I could see that, definitely.
Yeah. And I could definitely see it much better with Arlen, because you have access to red spells along with it.
Oh yeah, Arlen is just broken. There's no question about that. I don't use Arlen very often for playtesting because green and red, is just utterly broken. There's not much to be said.
Yeah. But like that could be a pretty good army. Like run Arlen Eldrazi.
Yeah, get paths revealed on breakers so they can move more than 5 spaces. And even Don has brought this up, that a move of 5 is kind of, move of 5 is pretty bad. Move of 5 is pretty much what most slow figures in AOTP have. So, paths revealed is kind of huge for the Mindrakers. But that's kind of the point, right? Like, the Rakers are supposed to be like the slower and bulkier versions of like an Eldrazi fighter. Because like you remember the Scions, they have 7 move, but they have less life.
Yeah.
So like it's intentional that the Rakers are a little bit slower. That and it just would be probably far more terrifying if the Rakers had a base of like 6 or 7 move.
Yes, that is true.
They also have Emerge, which Emerge is also really good. That like they don't really need insane mobility when you can just place them within 7 spaces without needing line of sight from your Planeswalker. That's already like really good for getting them started.
Like, yeah, I don't see why to like not run green or Arlen for Eldrazi.
I'll have to try some green. Yeah, for me personally, I'm not gonna test Arlen because I think Arlen can make a lot of stuff just seem way too good. So I don't want, again, because that's the red and green spells combined really just make almost anything really broken, especially squads, which the Rakers are a squad. So yeah, she would elevate the Rakers to be insane, to the insane tier. But I like the idea with like green. I would definitely try Overrun and Paths Revealed. Like that would be really powerful with the Rakers, I think. All right.
If there's one thing that I consider I might be good at, making tribal strategies.
Oh sure, that's what we want. Yeah, we want to add some more of that into this from AOTP. So that's cool. But anyway, sir, it's been a fun time chatting. It's 6:30 my time. I'm gonna fetch me some dinner. D-Dance, thanks for chatting.
Okay.
It's been great. It's been great talking to you again.
Of course.
We'll see you around at some point. When are you gonna be able to play online again, by the way?
I gotta see when I'm back down south.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, no problem. I just figured I'd ask for fun. At some point, I do want to hold an online tournament.
And who knows?
Right. But
and like, who knows? I might get a laptop or something for my birthday.
Yeah, when's your birthday?
Less than a week.
Oh, really? Well, happy
it's
birthday.
On Thursday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, dude. Wait, are you getting? I forgot. You said you're getting the AOTP sets. Is that for your birthday or for Christmas?
I did put it on my birthday/Christmas list.
Oh, okay, so
Okay, it's done.
they're kind of both combined.
Alright. Hello. Hello. Am I
Hi,
on?
Don.
Hey, Don.
Have you heard?
What's that?
Can you hear
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're good, dude.
Yes.
Wow. Power of technology is amazing.
Why?
Love that.
What are you using? What's your get up that it's working?
Bluetooth on my car.
Oh.
So,
Are you driving?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you know.
You know what?
I was at a game night, so.
Oh, okay. I was about to say you're not driving while you're drunk, are you?
What? No.
Okay, just making sure. No, you
illegal.
mentioned. Wait, what was it? A couple days ago? I forget. You mentioned you were gonna get smashed this weekend.
No,
So.
no. The Halloween party was yesterday, and I don't believe in hangovers. Those aren't real.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So. No, I'm chilling.
Don,
so
you've.
I was like, damn. I
I
didn't realize
respect
you
the
guys were
dedication.
gonna be talking at the late.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've been going. It's almost 2 hours right now, dude. I was actually getting ready to catch some dinner. I wouldn't mind sitting around chatting more if you guys are both gonna be here, but I'm gonna grab like a quick bite for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, whatever.
But what I should do. Oh yeah, so Don, you're not gonna be able to see what D-Dance and I have suggested. But I guess I'll try and briefly read this to you. We got some good ideas here. So.
Sure.
So Don, you already know, like you and I, we've talked about how when oh my gosh, when the Blight Herder dies, how like sometimes there's those tokens, like you end up with like 3, 4, 5 tokens on the map that you can't do much with.
Yep.
So
Yep.
D-Dance and I chatted. We're thinking we could add an ability maybe for the what's the little guy's name?
The scrap guy.
Salvage drone. Yeah. So we brainstormed an ability which says currently it's kind of like there's a question mark next to it, of course. At the end of this creature's turn, if there's at least one card in an opponent's exile, you may move an attack with a token Eldrazi creature you control.
So you can't ingest willy-nilly, or rather, like,
Brood, the one that spawns them, yeah.
you have to leave one there. Like, you can't be greedy with your Blight Herder if you want to use that. So there's some tension. I mean, do you think that I mean, the niche of that drone is the fact that it's a cheap unit.
Yeah.
Don't you think that would put more points in for? Don't you think that would raise the cost of the unit?
Yes. Yeah. And I already noted that. I was talking to D-Dance. Yeah, I was saying we probably would have to bump them to like 15, 20 points easily for that. But I don't think it would merit, it would like warrant, I should say, like increasing his point cost by a ton. And and again, this goes back to I would like an additional way to be able to do something with those tokens.
Yeah, I mean, they it does feel weird. I get what you're saying, but I like it hasn't. It has. How many times has it come up? You figure in our test, like 2 or 3, where there's tokens sitting there doing nothing.
So you and I have play tested, I think, twice total. I might be wrong. Maybe it was 3 times. I think it only happened once or twice. Yeah. We can play test more. Yeah, like I said, this doesn't have to, like, there's a question mark here. However, I think for the potential that there's literally only one way to do anything with those tokens. Well, I guess there's 2, but the primary way is going to be the Blight Herder. But number 2 is black, because like black has all the things where like you got to kill your own creatures to do something. Black can generally make use of tokens.
Squad, though?
Sorry, what was that?
Don't the black ones usually say squad?
Not. I don't think not when it comes to your own, like when you're quote unquote, like self-sacrificing.
Like sacrifice a figure, draw 2 or whatever.
Yeah, like Omnixilis, like he has the one that says, "Oh yeah, you're right. Hang on, at any price is a squad creature." Yeah, I didn't think about that. So that wouldn't even work.
What about like Altar's Reap?
Yeah, Altar's Reap I think would work. I think it's any creature. Let me read. Hang on. Yeah, a creature you control. So That would work for that.
Okay.
Painful Truths should
Okay.
also work. Painful Truths is a figure, like, so you can even damage your own Planeswalker for that. But you can also therefore damage a token creature. So black has a couple of ways to use it for sure. But like other than black, and this is what D-Dance and I talked about, where like, what does every other color, like, what are they gonna do with all these Eldrazi tokens? They can't do anything.
Blue card that lets you switch the places of 2 figures.
Sorry,
Or
repeat
am I
that.
making that up? Isn't there a blue card that lets you switch places of 2 figures? Or am I making that up?
That's specific to the one squad. That's their ability, where they can switch one of that specific squad with the Planeswalker.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's Project Self,
That's
which is another
pretty cool
decent
card.
point to be made. The Project Self says you can place your blue Planeswalker, what is it, adjacent to a creature you control. So blue can use Project Self with them. That's minor.
Sure.
I'm trying to think what else is there. Hang on, let me go look at Red's card real quick. Infernal Plunge. What's that say?
Yeah, red can have red sacrifice effects are in color 5 for red for sure.
So red has one. Let's see. Oh, it's a squad though. Okay, it's a squad. All right, let me look around. Is there another one that maybe might work? So red has one card, but that's only for killing their own squad. I don't think I see anything else. Okay, Chandra's Outrage. Deal 1 damage to a creature an opponent controls that's adjacent to a figure you control. That would technically work with tokens. Okay, so maybe D-Dance and I were a little short-sighted. So blue has maybe one use. Red has one use at least.
I can imagine. I don't know if white and green have anything like this. But I can imagine an effect that might count the number of figures you have to give you some effect. You know, like
yes.
like there's a card called Craterhoof Behemoth in Magic. So what it does is it gives, when it enters, all your creatures get plus X power, where X is the number of creatures that you have. Basically, like if you have a big board in like a large game of Magic, you cast that and then you win the game. It's a win condition card, right?
Yeah.
So obviously it wouldn't be something that ridiculous, but I could imagine something that's like, I don't know, for every like 2 figures that you have, gain like 1 attack on like an extra die on like an attack from 1 figure or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. So that's potential for a custom in the future. Yep.
Yeah. I think there's some design space for that, an effect that counts like a number of your resources. Because like white, I feel like the best build for white, and you can disagree if you like, but I think the best build for white is heroes, which means you would have a very low figure count.
Yeah.
But then if there were effects that were like, oh, word, like here are some effects that incentivize you having a lot of men, that could lead to different builds.
Yeah. Yeah, I generally agree with that, but I don't. White's problem doesn't lie with like that they can't spam squads, like because they can do that. I think White's problem lies in that every other color can like bone White terribly, because like White wants to spam enchantments and buffs, but then like Blue has like the unsummons. Red can just kill them through all their toughness buffs, right? So it's not really so much that White needs, or that like White's lacking in their ability to play squads. It's more that like every color can just deal with White very easily.
Word.
But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why like White's hero builds are just good, is because the heroes don't get like destroyed or auto unsummoned or like any of that crap. And also that White has like all of the healing cards, which is like the only way to make the hero build work, because the heroes usually will die too quickly if you can't drop some healing on them.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, that's cool. But like, the thing is, like, if we intend to make more token effects, as we go. This question becomes important for like the future.
You're right.
However we decide these Eldrazi spawn tokens work will probably inform future design. Like the Elspeth one that we brainstormed.
Yeah.
Where she wants to bond with any kind of token that you want.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yep.
Yeah. So like, you know, if there are different tokens, like there's definitely some
sure
thoughts to have.
So right. So then are you saying that with all this, then are you just saying that you'd prefer that we don't add this bonding? Like, I'm gonna call it bonding for lack of a better term, but the bonding for the salvage drone?
Yeah, definitely bonding. Definitely bonding.
Right.
I don't hate the idea. I mean, it would definitely make the little guy better.
He's not. Yeah. Here's the thing. He's not a big threat on his own. And D-Dance and I talked a little bit about this, over the last 2 hours. But like the tokens, you already know this. They have 5 move. They're slow. 3 power, 3 toughness with 1 life is very average, if not easy to kill. Salvage drone himself has 2 life, and he's 2/2. So like we give him bonding. Like you're basically attacking with 2 figures that have 3 power at best, and that's only if you discard for the salvage drone, right?
Yeah, and it's got a restriction, and it's got a restriction. It definitely doesn't stop you from using the thing in like different armies. It's cute.
Yeah.
How much move does he have?
The salvage drone is 6 right now, is what we have him at.
Weird. Interesting. Weird. D-Dance, what do you think about the token stuff?
I do like the bonding ability that we are thinking about giving it.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, I don't think I have much else to say.
Fair enough. I mean, I think bonding is dope as hell and should be in this game more because bonding is the best part of what makes Heroescape cool, I would say. So I'm pretty much down for like any kind of bonding effect. It may make the builds feel a little bit more cohesive. I think, as I recall, when I've been building Blight Herder lists, I usually have a few points to play with. So however much we make the drone cost, should probably be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So that you can use it for effectively. So I think that's cool.
Okay.
The restriction definitely will prevent it from being too strong. I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah. I really don't think he's, like, if we, even adding the bonding to him, even at 10 points, like, it's not, he's probably going to be a little, like, better than 10 points, clearly, but buffing him to, like, 15 or 20 point cost is, he's not, again, like, the best case scenario is you have exiled something, you have a token on the map, and then you can take a turn, like, first you have to choose to take a turn with this guy, right? He's a 2/2 hero, like, he's not that powerful.
That's a good point.
Like,
hey, in testing, I have activated him twice. And those turns, I was like, I remember saying at the beginning of that game, I was like, word, I'm about to summon this guy and never activate him. And then I wound up being in a turn where I'm like, wow, this is my best option, and it's actually kind of good.
Yeah.
I think he, like, took a glyph and got an attack in, and I'm like, damn, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just having men just is usually good.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's pretty much like why. That's like why he's 10 points and he's a 2/2. Because it's just like having a body for 10 points is going to be decent enough by itself. Even if it doesn't do anything but die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of inclined to go with like D-Dance on this. That after the one game where I had like the 5 tokens, I was like, man, like I really wish I had a second, some other way to do something with the tokens, with some color other than black, of course.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. It gives you, it gives you some gameplay because you can hold your salvage drone back if you need to. Um, and then some minute later, like after,
Uh-oh, is he turning into a robot for you, D-Dance?
Yes.
Don, you're turning into a robot.
well, I'll tell you what, fellas. I did get back to my apartment, so I can go up to my my actual setup.
Okay,
Um,
we'll be here.
yeah.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom
So
real quick,
I'll-
so I'll be back in like 1 minute, alright?
Yeah. I'll hop off. I'll be on, like, you know.
Yeah, good deal. We'll see you. We'll see you in a minute, Don, then.
Within
Yeah,
that.
D-Dance, I'll be back in a moment. Just gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay. Okay.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back.
Yay.
D-Dance, yeah, how much time do you have, dude? We're going on almost 3 hours of chatting.
I think I've got a few more minutes left.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I'm just gonna, sorry, mind all my noise. I'm gonna try and snack on something while we're talking now.
Okay.
But, alright. So we got that in there. What else were you and I talking about that we should bring up to Don? You know what we should talk about? Yeah, right, the potential for grave birthing to exile a figure, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We should probably, yeah, that's gonna be a fun conversation.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, exiling a figure only really bones black. Like, now that I think about this too, exiling a figure also makes it worse for Rise of the Dark Realms too.
Oh yeah, true.
Like let's say I kill, like, if I'm whatever blue and I'm using Grave Birthing, and it exiles a figure instead, whatever, or I use red, name any color, and I kill your black figure, I could, like, by the end of my turn I could play Grave Birthing, exile your figure, and now you don't even get the chance to play Rise of the Dark Realms to bring it back. Yeah, like, Grave Birthing is only our nerf towards black, and black doesn't need to be nerfed right now, in my opinion. Like, I totally get Jack's issue with the zombies coming back repeatedly over and over, because that's kind of an issue, but, like, black's by no means overpowered even with that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, so your birthday, right? You got your birthday / Christmas list, huh? So you're getting all 3 of the expansions, or at least you hope you are, for AOTP?
I hope I am, yes.
Okay. You got some people you're going to be able to play it with?
I bet I can talk some of my friends into it.
Like, we play MTG, right? Like, if they play the card game, you can probably get them into the board game.
Yes. Yeah, I probably can.
That should be a good time.
Yeah.
And luckily, AOTP is still, like, cheap enough that, like, it's not going to break the bank, unlike HeroScape.
That is very true.
Yeah, have you looked at the eBay prices of HeroScape?
I've looked at a few, and the few that I've looked at, I do not like.
It's not a pretty picture. It is not. It is definitely not a pretty picture. I haven't looked at prices in a while, but I can only imagine they've continued to go up. At least until HeroScape officially comes back, like when they've officially started printing out the new stuff, you know?
Yeah. Like, if I'm going to sell my HeroScape stuff, then now would be a good time to do it, basically.
Yeah. I've had moments of weakness where I've thought about trying to maybe sell a little bit of my HeroScape so that it'd be easier to buy new HeroScape, but I haven't bit the bullet yet.
I sold the HeroScape to get Arena of the Planeswalkers.
Wait, what? You sold?
It would be worth it.
What?
No, I did not do it. I did not do that.
That is something you could do, though. Like,
it is.
But yeah, honestly though, it's like just sell the HeroScape figures. You gotta keep the terrain, dude. Like, I've always told myself, like, if I had to sell my HeroScape for whatever reason, like whether because I couldn't store it or I needed money, I would probably sell a few figures off first, because, dude, the terrain is just the coolest part of the game. I don't care.
Like, keep the terrain. That can be used for so much stuff.
Yeah, right. Like, you can use it for Warhammer or for, like, D&D. Like, the terrain is just, like, so universally useful. And I guess the figures are, but I don't know. The figures are as well, but I don't know. It's just like, I could sell, like, one HeroScape figure, like, a reasonably, like, I don't know, what's one that would cost, like, $30? Like, some of the heroes can go, like, $30 easily. So it's like, I could sell one of those and buy, like, 5 D&D figures if I wanted to.
Yeah, I want to say one of the, I can't remember their name now. whatever the main gender Valkyrie. No, not Valkyrie. Whatever the main gender Kyrie is.
Oh, Raylin?
The one that there's two of. Yep, yeah, Raylan. I want to say one of the two Raylins go for a decent amount.
What? Really? They're so easy to get. I wouldn't
so.
expect them. Hang on, I'll look it up real quick. Raylin. And now I'm interested, because if the prices are that insane, dude, I'd kick myself. Oh no, she's not too bad. It looks like the average price for her is probably about $7 to $8. Okay, I see a 10, I see a 12. Most of it's usually, it looks like it's about $6, $7, $8 though. Not too bad. Yeah, Raylin was generally pretty easy to get though. Like, it's more like the later stuff especially. Like, have you ever looked at the price of the, oh, what is it? The axe grinders of the Burning Forge? Like the little dwarves? Like, those dudes will go probably for like $200 for a squad. Let me see if I can find one. Okay, here's one. Axe Grinders Burning Forge with no card. $140. Here's one with the card.
I wonder what the...
Go ahead. Uh-oh, did you just drop? I can't hear you if you're talking. Unless I'm turning into a robot. Axe Grinders of Burning Forge with the card, almost $170. It's like, dude, that's just absurd. Here, $175. Here's a 3D printed one for $15. Wow, that's doesn't seem that bad. Huh. Are you there? You alive?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now, yep.
Okay.
Anyway, did you crash again? Did you hear what I said about the axe grinders?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Maybe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Hello?
Uh-oh. You can't hear me?
Okay, so cool, you hear me, but now you're a robot.
I'm a robot?
Also, I did manage to find how much the Marvel set is worth.
Go ahead. How much? Man, is my internet connection this bad? Nope. I wonder if it's him that's having the problems. Oh, he's back. Can you hear me? Am I still a robot?
Yeah, I can hear you again.
What
Yes,
network?
I can understand.
What network are you using? Like, are you using like cell data, or do you have like a Wi-Fi?
Oh, I'm using Wi-Fi.
Okay. Is your internet pretty reliable, you think, there, or no?
Yes,
Alright, it might be me then.
it is.
I would say my internet is
Believe
semi-reliable.
me when I say. Believe me when I say this. My phone only perishes when I'm on a call. It doesn't matter who it's with. It just perishes. It hates whenever I'm on a Discord call.
Sounds like your phone doesn't like to do its job. It's on strike or something, huh?
Yep. Yeah. Like when I do like a phone call with somebody. Yeah, sure, it works just fine. But yeah, Discord, no.
Huh. Anyway, you were saying something about the Marvel set, huh?
Yeah, I found how much that is worth.
Oh, what is it?
About 220.
Oh wow, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and granted, the stuff that I have for it would not be that much because I'm missing a few of the figures, I think. But I'm pretty sure I still have all of the. I'm pretty sure I still have all of the terrain though. So like, I could still probably get a decent amount of money for it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Marvel set was probably one of the worst sets anyway. It's like so out of touch with the rest of Heroescape, you know?
Mm.
Although it was cool, like it was novel.
Yeah. All of the characters are busted, from what I've heard.
You might think they're busted, but if you play like the Marvel guys against like Heroescape squads, like a good Heroescape army, I should say, they'll get destroyed.
Oh.
Like I think other than maybe Captain America and the Hulk, Captain America and the Hulk are probably the best ones because they can generally kill multiple figures per turn. But most of the other superheroes can only kill one figure per turn.
Mm.
So, like, okay, so what's the Red Skull gonna do? I guess he has his, what is it, the Dust of Death or whatever. But that's like what, like you need a 19 or higher on the D20 or something. So it's like, what's the Red Skull gonna do against 30 squad figures? He's just gonna keel over and die.
I guess Thanos could be decent because I'm pretty sure he can revive himself.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yep. It depends how many points you're playing in the game. Yeah, you would need like a minimum of like 450 to 500 points, but I mean that's pretty standard for most Heroescape games. Yeah, he can only attack once per turn, but like it's pretty much what you do is you send him in first and then like gun something down. And then while he's dead, you take turns with other things and hope he revives.
And on top of that, he's ranged, so he can run away and shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Thanos is pretty good. Just as long as you have enough points to squeeze in other things so that he can come back to life. But most of the other ones, like Iron Man, is also pretty decent because he has flying and range and double attack. So yeah, maybe I lied. Maybe not all of them are terrible, but I would still say at least half of them are just like absolutely hopeless against the rather like everything in HeroScape is based on squads, you know? Like it's a lot of squad spam.
Spider-Man would be slaughtered. That's not a question.
He would be annoying, but yeah, he would eventually just be killed by tons of squad attacks. Yeah.
Yeah. Venom would probably do maybe a little bit better than Spider-Man. I think he has better stats.
I don't remember. They're really close. They're effectively clones of each other. Yeah. I think Venom is better at killing stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say Venom has higher power, like higher attack, and then Spider-Man has a better like Spidey sense roll, so that way he can run away for free.
Yeah. And then Abomination is just a weaker Hulk.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And even the Hulk isn't that good.
Doctor Doom could be decent because I'm pretty sure he has flying.
Yep.
Silver Surfer also has flying. I'm pretty sure Thanos also does.
Yep.
I think Silver Surfer actually has stealth flying.
Yeah, he does.
So, for that, he could be okay.
Against a bazillion squads. And doesn't he have like 6 or 7 defense too? Like, yeah, he's hard to kill.
I think so. Like, yeah, he's hard to kill and he's stealth flying.
But isn't he the one that has the lowest life? Doesn't he have like 3 or 4 life? I gotta go look now.
I'm not sure.
Marvel. Let's see. Books of Marvelscape. Silver Surfer. Oh, he has 6 life. Okay, never mind. I don't know why I thought he had much lower life. 6 life, 7 defense. That's insane. Oh, he has low attack though. His attack is only 4. Okay, maybe that's his issue. His range is also only 4. That's pretty short. Although he has the abilities that kind of help with that. Yeah, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think... yeah, Venom just does have 2 more attack than Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I think Venom has a harder Spidey sense roll. Like, I think Venom's is like 14 or something, and then Spider-Man is better.
Yeah, his is 14 and Spider-Man's is 11.
Yeah. That's like the only difference between them. Like, they're basically...
They both have the swing roll.
They're basically identical, except for Spider sense on Spider-Man is a better roll, but Venom gets more attack power.
Yeah, besides that, they are pretty much just copy-paste.
Yeah. It's still pretty cute. Like, they're cute, they're just, I don't know. I guess they're appropriately costed because they wouldn't really tend to last long in a lot of fights with a lot of squad figures.
Well, Hulk could be mean to fight though, just because of how tanky he is. 6 defense, 8 life.
Super leap. Yeah, well, Hulk's problem is that, like, range tends to dominate, especially. I mean, that mostly holds true for AOTP, in my opinion, too. That, like, the range figures can really work, especially at the Hulk, because, like, his stomp thing... Like, if Hulk's fighting a bunch of melee guys, Hulk is pretty decent. because then you can use the stomp thing and hit everyone that's around you. But yeah, you get like the range guys with like the high ground or whatever in there, and it's just, it doesn't take a whole lot to kill a dude with 8 life and 6 defense, honestly.
In terms of stats, though, I do think the Marvel Heroescape could probably outdo some of the normal Heroescape cards. In terms of stats alone.
Oh yeah.
Also, I do have to go.
Okay, yeah, no problem, man. Don's taking a while. I don't know what happened to him, but D-Dance, we'll see you around.
Yeah. Did he, like, no clip or something?
I have no clue. It's alright. We'll see you around, D-Dance. Thanks for chatting. If I could talk to Don, I'll bring up the whole, maybe the figure exile thing with him again.
Okay.
You take care. Have a good night. We'll see you around, man.
Yeah, see ya.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
And maybe on this note, I will kill my stream because Don seems to have disappeared. Alrighty, everyone. That'll be the end of the discussion. That was entertaining. We talked about some fun Heroescape, and we got some mechanics hashed out. Potential new mechanics. Why not? Alright. Take care. See you all in, well, whenever the next stream is. We're out.